This is One Accord Level 2 podcast. Hope everybody's being blessed, safe, and well. Hope everybody's doing good. Many prayers for comfort, healing, strength, and peace to all those who need it. And I just seen a post about a CEO who gave their employees money for over the holidays. And, you know, it got me to thinking about how this is just my general thought. I believe that in the world there's enough money where unless no matter how someone being homeless happens, there's enough money to help them. I believe that no matter how it happened, there's enough clothes for every child and every human being to have clothes. I thoroughly believe, and I've always believed this as a child, that there's enough food and water for every person to have food and water in the world. I believe that no matter who makes the littlest amount of money or the most amount of money, we have enough for everybody to have everything that we need. Now, I know that certain companies in certain places, they do not, they don't want to share the money because, certain CEOs, they need to have their end of the year bonuses. Certain CEOs, even during the middle of the year, they reach a certain thing with their, with their partners and stuff like that. And I gotta have my, I gotta have my monies. But I just thoroughly believe that there's enough money for everybody to go around. And when I hear about people sharing their bonuses with the employees that work for them all year long, coming in sick, whether they're sick or, whether they're well, stuff going on with family, friends, it doesn't matter. That means a lot to me because there are so many greedy people in the world. So many people who don't want to share their piece of the pie and the revenue because they think they'll be missing out on something, or they just don't want to do it just in general. And I just thoroughly believe that more people need to do that. If I had a big company and I had only had a select amount of employees and I make so much money every year and, all of the numbers were worked out and the bases were covered and things like that, I wouldn't even think twice. I would just give it because I don't need it. I'm going to be making money for the rest of my life. And if I have 10 to 20 to 30 employees who work for me, they work hard, they do what they're supposed to do, they show up on time, they're good employees, they're not causing trouble, they're not causing rifts, anything like that, I'm going to help them. Why is it that I'm going to make all the money and I'm going to look good, but then you're driving a hoopty and you're barely making it to work, or you don't even have gas money to come in to make the good money that you should be making? And then that's another thing. A lot of these corporations, they don't want to pay people what they're worth. And the way that the world is trending, we are worth a whole double, a lot more than what they're paying us. We're worth double, probably even triple that. So you want me to come to work and work for a minimal amount of money, but you want to raise the rent every year. You want me to try to make it in life, but I can't barely afford to pay for my groceries, whether you have kids or not. You want me to come to work, but I can barely afford to put gas in my car, and I can barely afford to even eat food and do all these other extra things. But you want the rent to be $2,000, but I'm only making $1,550, $1,650. No. And that's why I said, some people be like, oh man, you got to do something. Well, there's a lot of stupid people who are running corporates and corporations and organizations. There's a lot of stupid people who are running apartment complexes and houses and stuff like that. And they're extremely dumb because the world could be so much more stable than what it is. Rent shouldn't be $2,000 a month. Rent technically really shouldn't even be $1,000 a month. But You know how greedy they are. What if everybody was like, you know what? I don't even want to live here no more. I don't want to, live anywhere where the rent's like sky high. Then they're like, hey, we're going to go in a different direction. Could you imagine how that would cripple them? Because if nobody's paying rent to you, then how are you going to be making your money? How are you going to be paying other employees that work for you? They do the plumbing, they do the carpet, they do everything else. What if all the people just said, hey, we're leaving? What you going to do? And see, that's what I mean. It's like there's enough space for everybody. There's enough I believe there's enough houses and apartments and all this stuff for everybody. We have enough resources for everybody to do what needs to be done. I just think that a lot of people are selfish and they don't want to help anybody. And so no matter what that looks like, no matter how it looks, no matter how you go about it, there is enough. And I will always thoroughly believe that with all my heart. And so to the CEO who was sharing with the employees, hey, I congratulate you on that. And I'm thankful for you for doing that, because that takes a real person to share with others. Like I said, I'm grateful for you and whoever you are. And to all those other ones who are out there who share, whether you're male or female, doesn't matter. No matter which space you occupy, thank you for sharing and caring for others, because guess what? A little bit goes a long way. But you know what the key part for, to that is? We need more than a little bit. We've been needing more than a little bit, and we're always going to need more. And with that being said, needing more, that means opening up your doors. There has to. Some people say there's a loophole for everything. Well, guess what? If it is, well, then why haven't we figured out how to take homelessness away for good? Why is it still people starving and still people who don't have what they need? I believe that we have enough of everything. If we went out and bought 2 packs of 40 packs of water and we gave it away to 80 people, just doing something small, somebody who just needed, that's making a difference. And 2 packs of water, if people don't know, if you go to Walmart, if you go to different places, it's only $4 or $5 and some change. So you could buy 4 40 packs for $20. And you tell me you couldn't take that to somewhere, to a homeless shelter, or leave it out, and it could make a difference. I'm just saying, it's the little things. And so we're just going to have to be vigilant and, try to figure out a way that'll be like, hey, I'm not a millionaire. I'm not even a thousandaire. But if God ever put me in a position to help others and I could do so, I'm going to do it, because the world needs as much help as we need now. And we need to make sure that everything is everything. And that requires having an open heart. And if you don't have an open heart, some people are selfish, prideful, stuck up, egotistical, and they don't want to share. And I'm going to hope and pray to God, if I ever do get in that position, which I'm hoping and praying one day, that I can share with others and give to them and help people and change somebody's life for the better. This is One Accord Level 2 Podcast. Be blessed, be safe, be well. I'll holler at you on the flip side.